Okay, so last class we talked about onomatopoeias, a type of figurative language. Onomatopoeias are words that sound like the object they name or sounds that the objects make, such as zipping up a jacket. Zipper sounds like what it sounds like for a zipper. All right, so your do now is on the board, and what you're going to do is match the following sentences on the left to the onomatopoeia that describes them. So first we have a plate being dropped on the floor, next a balloon being burst, a gun being shot, someone eating chips, a light being switched on, and a fierce dog. So again, you're going to, on your separate sheets of paper, match the following sentences to the onomatopoeia, or again, like the sound it makes, that describes them. So for example, number one, a plate being dropped on the floor. What do you think that sounds like? And your choices are pop. So if you're slamming a plate on the floor, is it going to say pop? Is it going to sound like bang? Is it going to sound like a smash, a crunch, a growl, or a click? All right, so a plate makes a pretty big sound. A plate sounds more like a smash on the floor. All right, so do the rest of them by yourself, and we will go over them. All right, a balloon being burst. So it makes a big up sound. Burst. All right, gun being shot. Here in the movies or in cartoons, you see a big bang come out of the gun itself or up above the gun. Someone eating chips, especially in the movie theaters or something, it's really annoying. It's a really loud crunch. What else could sound like a crunch? Think of like season, like fall. It could be you're walking along and you hear a crunch. The leaves crunch under your feet. All right, a light being switched on. The click of the light. It makes a little click. And a fierce dog gives a really big growl. All right, so again we use onomatopoeias because it makes reading interesting. Instead of saying, all right, I put my jacket on and walked outside and walked on leaves, you can say, the zipper of the jacket, I zipped the jacket up, walked outside, and I could hear the crunching of the leaves under my feet. So it's really, it gives more of a vivid image for you as the reader. So today what we're going to learn about is some more figurative language that authors use to make sentences and writing and reading more interesting. The two we're going to talk about today are called simile and metaphor, and they're basically the same, but there is a difference. Okay. So first, simile. So what word do you hear in there? Similar. So it's a comparison. They're comparing similar things, making a comparison, trying to make them similar between either two different people, places, things, and they use the words like, than, similar to, or the word as. So they're always going to use those words so you know that that's the difference. Simile has one of those words, like, than, similar to, or as. And then metaphor is a more direct comparison. They're not saying Sally is like a rose. They're going to say Sally is a rose. Is Sally really a rose? No. But if you're calling someone a rose, you probably think they're pretty, right? So a metaphor is, again, a more direct comparison that states one thing is another, even though it isn't literally. All right, so here are examples up on the board. The sun was a fireball today. All right, so what are they trying to say about the sun? sun's really hot, right? Especially in the summer. So they're trying to say the sun is really hot. Instead of saying just the sun is hot, which is sort of interesting, they kind of spice it up and say the sun was a fireball. It was really hot. All right, do you see like, than, similar to, or as in there? No. So then that's a metaphor. So we'll put an M for metaphor next to it. All right, my ice cream was a rock. All right. Can you eat a rock? No. Is ice cream a rock? Really? No, but what is a rock? Rocks are hard. So then for ice cream, if they're saying it was a rock, they're trying to say what? They're trying to say that it was probably really hard, probably frozen over. So again, doesn't say like, doesn't say as, similar to, that. So again, another metaphor. Directly comparing the ice cream to the rock. The ice cream was hard as a rock. So they're comparing ice cream to a rock, but they're using as. They're not directly stating it. The ice cream was hard as a rock. So that's a simile because it's comparing two different things, a rock and ice cream, pretty different. And they're saying the ice cream was as hard as this rock. And they're using as. It was like an oven outside today. They're using the word like, so another indicator that it means that it's a simile. It was, so today it was like an oven. So when your mom or dad opens the oven after cooking, it's really hot, right? It gets the room really hot. So if they're saying that it's like an oven, then the weather's probably really hot. So instead of saying just, oh, it's hot out, you can say it was like an oven or a burning inferno today, meaning it was really, really hot. So again, simile because it's using like. So again, the differences between similes and metaphors are that metaphors are more direct, just right to the point. So, all right, now you try. So we have 4 sentences on the board. You're going to try yourself, write down if it's a simile, an S for simile, or an M for metaphor, and see what they're comparing. What are they trying to say, and how you know if it's a simile versus metaphor. All right, number 1. That dot is as big as a horse. All right, so maybe like someone overdid their period at the end of a sentence. So that dot is as big as a horse. They probably couldn't make it as big as a horse, especially on a piece of paper, but they're trying to say it's what? It's really, really big. So they're saying that dot is as big as a horse. They're comparing the dot, or maybe the period, as big as a horse. So they're comparing a dot to a horse. Different, but they're comparing it because they're both big. So horse versus dot, but it's big. And you see like, as is in there, similar. It's as big as big as. So it's a simile. Comparing, but not right to the point direct. So it's simile. She sure is sharp. Okay, maybe she is pretty pointy or something, but when people use this word sharp, what else do you think that they mean? They can mean smart. She sure is sharp, kind of like sharp as a tack, meaning they're smart. Okay, so she sure is sharp. Comparing a girl to being sharp, or we figured it out that it means to be smart. So comparing the girl, she, to sharp or being smart. Instead of just saying, that girl is really smart. Oh, that's really nice, but to say, boy, she's sharp, it's just more fun to say. All right, again, is it saying like or as? Any of those words? No. So it's going directly to the point, making the direct comparison. It's a metaphor. All right, next one. Jenny is as quiet as a mouse. All right, so mice, if you've ever experienced one, they kind of sneak attack you, sneak up on you. So usually they're considered quiet. So they're comparing a mouse who has the quality of being quiet to this girl named Jenny. So she's being called quiet. Instead of saying, oh, Jenny's just quiet, she's just shy, she's as quiet as a mouse. So you kind of get that image in your head that she's a little timid, she like sneaks on you or something, she doesn't really say anything, doesn't want to get in anyone's way, especially mice. Mice don't want to. They want to not be seen so then no one hurts them. So maybe Jenny's the same way. She's not just quiet or shy, she just doesn't want to get in anyone's way. And she is as quiet as. So using that is as, which shows that it's a simile. So still comparing, just not to the point. To make that a metaphor, what do you think you would say? Jenny is a mouse? Because then you would be like, okay, why is she a mouse? Mouse because is she small? Is she quiet? Little? Has little teeth like that? I don't know. So that's actually better that they use a simile here, adding that she's quiet as a mouse. So you know exactly what characteristic of the mouse they want to use. All right, that car is a boat. Again, big. So if the car is considered a boat, what do you think they're saying about the car? That it's huge. Instead of saying, oh, that car is really huge. Okay, how huge? This big as a boat. Okay, not literally, but it's still pretty big. So it's saying that car, comparing it and saying it's a boat. And it says directly, is a boat. So since it's direct, not saying is as like at a boat, it's similar to a boat, nothing like that. It's going straight to the point, it's a metaphor. Alright, again, just like onomatopoeias, authors, writers use metaphors and similes to kind of spice up their writing. It's boring to say over and over, especially if they have one main character that's shy. Oh, she's just shy, she's very shy. You gotta make it, like, mix it up a little bit. She's as quiet as a mouse, she's timid, she is like wind or something. You kind of like feel it, but you never see her or something. So that's why authors use similes and metaphors. They want to spice up their language, make it more enjoyable, more interesting. First for them to actually write, and also for you to enjoy to read. For now, your homework will be to look at what simile and metaphor are. Again, what are simile and metaphor? All similes are metaphors, but metaphors are not similes. Metaphors, direct comparison between two unlike objects. She is a mouse. The car is a boat. Not literally compares two different things, but in a more indirect way, using like or as. Alright, so homework is to create at least 3 different metaphors and 3 different similes of either you and or a family member. So again, say you think you're quiet as a mouse. I am quiet as a mouse, or I'm as loud as a tiger, something like that. So come up on your own with 3 metaphors and 3 similes comparing yourself and or your family members.